So our first user story is as a UBC student user, I want to be able to filter sections of the most recent year available 2016 for a department and receive the grades for each section within that department with its corresponding section professor so that I can see the professors with the highest averages. So for our first scenario of the definition of done, we have like the success attempt for the sections. In the given statement, it says that the user is on the main page, which is also the query page, and that sections is already added. So inside of our data folder here, you can see the sections.json, which is just our pair zip file. For the when, we have the student enter a valid department. For an example, like CPSC, the string, and clicks apply. So for departments, put in CPSC, submit. For the then, it says that it'll display a list of all the sections within that department and its corresponding average and professor. So we have the list of professors as well as all of their averages. And on the network page here, you can see the status 200 for the call. For our second definition of done scenario, we have an unsuccessful filter attempt. So we have the same given where the sections data says already added. And then in this when we have the user input an invalid department, such as like a number like 100. So when you put in 100 and press submit, we get prompted with the then, which is an error message that tells you to try again. And then you can see in the network that we have a 400 status.
For our second user story, we have, as a student, UBC student user, I want to be able to filter rooms that have at least a certain number of seats so that I can find a room that has enough space for all my friends to study in. Our first definition of done for our success case is that a UBC student is successful in their filter attempt for rooms. The given situation is that the UBC student user is on the query page and rooms data set is already added. So when we look at our data folder, we can see that the rooms.json holding all the rooms has already been added. Our when is that the UBC student user enters a valid number of seats and clicks the apply button. So when we go here and click 100 and we submit it, we can see that we get the right status return in the network call. And we can see that when we scroll down, all of the remaining tuples that have been that are shown have seats that are equal to or greater than 100, and it's displayed with its building type and the number of seats that that building can hold. Our second scenario for the definition of done is an unsuccessful case, and that's when a UBC student is unsuccessful in their filter attempt for rooms. So here, the UBC student user is on the query page and rooms data is already added. And the when is the UBC student enters an invalid number of seats and clicks the apply button. So in this case, instead of typing in a number, we would type in a string. Here we get the right network call, and also we see that we're prompted with the try again message as this is not a correct input.